If you're black and you're watching this and you happen to be a passport bro, I have news for you. The white passport bros are actually taking over this whole passport bro movement. Let me break it down for you, okay? Hello there, my name is Janita Maaya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am on the road to 10K, so please do subscribe and let's just jump in. So I was on the internet like any other person, I'm just scrolling on TikTok and I happened to land on this video of this white guy with his Filipino wife. She looks a little bit too young for him. She's 22. I now know that, but she looks a bit too young for him. And you know what? I said cute family. So I happened to go into the guy's page and what I find out will shock you. So here's what happened with this white guy. He happened to find himself a beautiful Filipino queen, He happened to find himself a happily ever after. He knew he was not stressing with American women anymore, like he says it, because his page is all about American women are Americanized, American women are Western, like don't submit, So he happened to find himself a lovely, lovely queen, and he decided to bring her to the States. They have 3 beautiful babies, by the way. And guess what happened? After 2 years, she left him. He's been on the internet crying about it. Not crying literally, but he's been on the internet going on rants about it and telling us why he is leaving him, and he's claiming that she is westernized. Watch this clip.
Well, it didn't take long. It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized, hate everything about me and what I provide, and decide to leave. Yeah. Welcome to the shittiest post that I'm ever going to make. There's a lot to it, and I'm not going to go into it, okay? But suffice to say, after providing and going on the Disney World trip, which included the funeral for my mom, I got up to day 6, I think, on that, because it all broke down at Magic Kingdom. Fucking ironic. And I didn't post anything after that, because when we got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia, I was greeted with the announcement from Jayanne that she wanted a separation. And then I discovered through text that she had been discussing this with her family and making plans to also take the children. So, that's heavy, right? That's a nuke. And I'm gonna go into my bunker. So I came downstairs in my nice 4-story mansion and just stayed by myself through Christmas Eve and through Christmas Day. And I missed Christmas with my children. My in-laws, my mother and my father-in-law, and Jayanne, they proceeded to open the presents without me.
So guys, let's unpack a few things. The wife told him that she wanted a separation after they came back from that Disney trip because he decided to disrespect her parents, and she felt like enough was enough, and she said, you know what, let's separate. And he goes on to say that he found text messages between the wife and him, and he couldn't take that. I don't know, like, men, stop being delusional. Women will talk to their close, parties, for lack of a better word. Women will talk to their families because as a woman, we need to break down certain things. We need someone who can hear us. Obviously, not every time, and certain things are meant to be kept within, the house or the family. But you are lying to yourself if you think your woman has no one to confide in. If it's not you, it's someone else. Make peace with that. Make peace with that. And obviously, some women nowadays don't tell the man who they confide in. It can even be God, guys. It can be in prayer. Make peace with the fact that women confide in someone, right? And he's pissed about him finding text messages between her and her family when she was saying, you know what, I want to leave, I miss you guys. And he's mad about that. let me show you guys the clip where he disrespected his in-laws, and that in turn made her go to him and say, hey, you know what? I need a divorce, or let's separate for the time being.
5 things that I did to disrespect my Filipino in-laws. Now, I qualify Filipino because different cultures get disrespected in different ways. So don't come at me for being a racist. This is the context. Hi, Chad to Dad here. Had a horrible Disney World experience with my in-laws. And I'm just going to tell my side of it. Not my side of the story, but I'm going to say what I did to disrespect my Filipino mother and father, and as well as my sister. Number 1, I did not eat the food that they cooked. It wasn't because I didn't like it, and it wasn't because I wasn't hungry. It's because I protested. I didn't eat the food that they cooked. And then number 2, when they left the food out on the table, that stayed out all day, when we came back from one of the Disney World days, I called them slobs for leaving the food out. Number 3, I clapped sarcastically when Mama finally stepped in and helped JM by bathing the kids after a long day. I clapped loud and long and sarcastically. Number 4, I snatched the keys out of Papa's hands. He spent his morning loading the car up, getting ready to go back to Georgia, and he went to hand the keys to me, and I just snatched them out of his hand and went down to start the car. And number 5, I told Ate too when she said that I was being a bad host.
All right, I think we've had enough. I'm sorry to bring this to you guys, but I just couldn't keep it to myself. I've brought the disrespect to you guys. He did 5 things to the parents and to the in-laws, to his wife's family, and she decided to retaliate by saying, you know what? No, we're getting a separation. He didn't eat the food. First of all, culture-wise, I don't know. Obviously, they're Filipino from the Philippines, right? But culture-wise, in the African society, like, you don't go to someone's house and then turn down their food. I don't know how it is in this day and age, but I couldn't even think of visiting and turning down my food. My mom would be looking at me like, are you crazy? Do you want to go back home by yourself? Because we can send you back home, right? Because the African culture is all about like togetherness. And if you visit someone's home, you've decided, I'm going to visit this person, then you need to be able to eat whatever it is they're offering. If you take 1 fork or 2. Now, if they're trying to poison you, you need to leave the house. But ideally, the culture is that you eat food from the house, right? 2, snatch the keys from the dad. The dad spent, the father-in-law spent all day or all morning parking the car, doing hard work, and then he went there. I think they were exchanging keys, and then he snatched the keys, told the sister-in-law, this guy is crazy. I didn't know it was this intense. Told the sister when the sister was saying, hey, you're being a bad host. They left him food on the table and he called them slobs. I'm forgetting the last one, but you get the gist of it. You've been listening, right? So this guy went ahead and did all these things, you know, and he expects the woman to just be like, oh no, like, come to me, here's a hug. This, like, when I just watched this clip and this video, let me calm down. First things first, let me just try to. When I watched this clip, the first thing that came to my mind was that this man is very disrespectful. Because how can you do that to your in-laws? If you do something like that to your in-laws, what are you doing when the lights go off and you are behind closed doors? Because when people do certain things, best believe they've done them before. They've done them with their loved ones. They've done them to their loved ones. If he is able to disrespect her like this, if he is able to disrespect his family like this, he is definitely disrespecting her. One-on-one. That's what it's looking like. When she asked for a separation, he was saying, oh no, she's Americanized. She was in the process of getting a green card and she was going on to become an American citizen and whatnot. So he thinks, this is why she is acting this way, because she's finally going to become a citizen. So she won't need him. Are you listening? So she won't need him. So he like the man that he is, decides to do things like this. Like a child. Very petty. Which grown man goes out and does things like that? Because what do you mean you just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to do da-da-da and then nothing will happen to me? Why privilege on top of everything else? But I want you guys to watch this clip where he talks about his Americanized Filipino wife.
My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean. In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, and especially to the government, I'm not happy. And if she drops the word abused or anything along those lines, the American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any allegations that she makes. And the man's side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil, controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude. And the narrative quickly, instantly becomes me bad, she victim. So the fight that we're having, that's still there. Okay, that's always going to hang over my head. I'm a passport bro. I brought her here. I married her here. I signed all the government forms saying that I will support her for a minimum of 10 or 1,000 years. I don't know. I don't even know what I signed. And all you dudes out there who have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Americanized means weaponization of the male-female relationship to benefit the female, because family court is not a judicial system, it's a corporation. For profit, digging into the pockets of dads, of men. Because, yeah, we're in a patriarchal system and men still have most of the money. Now, that's exactly what's true in our relationship. She doesn't have any money. I have all the money. And it's, a relationship can go south when the woman has lost love for her man and she's just going for the bag. And if she goes for the bag, she's going to get a huge portion of that. That's what I mean by Americanized.
He bad, she victim. Facts. He's bad, she's a victim. I'm sorry. And this is not like any other random Filipino woman. This is a woman, she says that she comes from a well-to-do family. Obviously, the dollar currency, it's higher, and then the Filipino money and whatnot. By the way, the Filipino lady, her name is Jay Ann, is from a well-to-do family from Howard. Her family owns a couple of businesses in the Philippines, so she's not like very desperate, or she's not like a Filipino who was on the poverty line and then she's been rescued by this white man because he said, I'm a passport bro. I try so hard not to curse. I'm a passport bro. I married her, brought her here, so it's all my fault. It's all my doing. Like, there's no accountability on what he has done to push her to say, hey, let's separate. First of all, the whole thing is just shady, because he went to the Philippines looking for a submissive woman, looking for someone who can bend to his will or bend to his rules. That's what he wants. And he keeps dropping this whole, I'm in a 4-story. Is this 4-story house, 4-storage? You know how Americans say it. You get it. I'm in a good house. She's not leaving me, Oh, and he went to New Year's and was like, oh, do you know why my wife is not leaving me? It's not because she loves me. It's because she's not pregnant. I'm just like, this man is crazy, guys. Very crazy. There are some things that he also said. He talked about how the Filipinos don't go through divorce because, when you marry someone from like the Philippines, it's all about family. So they'll try their best to make sure things work out before they give up. First watch it before I say something.
It's at least not a game plan. It's not a retirement plan for the woman. You're most likely to get through the hard times knowing that, your wife, my Filipino wife, isn't thinking of nuking it all with a divorce.
Anyway, this guy talks about the divorce like this, right? He says how, they won't leave you and go through hard times, which is generally true because divorce in most third world countries is definitely frowned upon. It's like when you say you want to divorce someone, they're like, why? What's happening? Go back and make it work. We have women literally who go to the parents' homes and then the parents are just like, no, go back to your parents' house. Go back to your husband's house and make it work. That's how some families in Africa do it, definitely. But like, I feel like the way he said it, he tried to weaponize it. It's like he's trying to say, you know what? If you do actually end up being with a Filipino lady, worry not because she's not going to wake up and divorce you. I feel like there are certain PBs. I don't know. I think that's a bit. There are certain passport bros, right? Whichever color, whichever race, who try to weaponize that statement. They're like, oh, the women there have no freedom, let's go there. Oh, the women there can just leave you because you did ABCD, let's go there, let's go check them out. Those are the women we need to marry. But you're doing it for the wrong reasons. What happened to marrying for love? What happened to marrying to start a family? Why do you people want to marry so that you can control someone? Why do you want to be with someone so that you can control them? It doesn't make sense. What is the motivation? You want to be so much in power. This guy is it's a play with his ego, it's just something he wants to feel big. This is him. He's the guy, maybe the women around him are not making him feel that good. So he's thinking, you know what? The Philippines is where I need to be. He made another statement about birth control. He said, play the clip.
This is going to sound gross, but they haven't burned out their ovaries with birth control.
Now, why would a grown man wake up and say such a statement? That because he is under the assumption that these women, of course, like, oh, it's a third world country, so there's definitely no birth control. They have not overused their ovaries. Who wakes up and decides to say something like that? Why would you, in your right mind, even think about saying something like that as a man? Like, who even gave him the right to speak about a woman's womb? A woman's womb is her business. Her and her partner. That's their business. Like, I don't understand it. It's like we're back in the 90s or in the 80s in an African country where it's just like, oh yeah, birth control. Back then, men used to beat their women if they found them on birth control, but the women were giving birth to so many children. The government said, hey, let's find a way to stop that because you guys are giving birth to so many kids, so introduction, birth control. Here's birth control. You guys find a way to control the way you're giving birth, space the kids, do something. And the way he's talking is like, oh, their wombs are not overly used because they're not using birth control. Are you crazy? Is that how birth control works? Are you fine upstairs? It's like, did you not do science class? So let's also talk about the financial bits of it because, these things, money is always involved in one way or another. Now, from the look of things and the videos I've shown you, you would think this man is a 10 out of 10 in terms of finances. Well, he's good, he's living his life, right? But like, you'd think this lady is being showered with all the gifts in the world, being given allowances left, right, and center. She's living like the ideal trad wife goal. No, apparently she has to ask him for money and she has to tell him why she's spending that money. Now, logically, that makes sense. Why do you need this money? Why are you spending it? But when it comes to a family with a stay-at-home mom and she's not making money is not coming in, give her the money. Where is she getting money from? You have to understand what comes into play. Where is she getting money from for her to spend on these other things that you may not know about? You see, that's the thing, like, it doesn't work like that, So it's just like, watch the clip.
To let you guys know that I am not setting up any GoFundMe or any donations. It's because I don't want to disappoint people, and part of my culture as much as possible, especially you have children, if you can work things out just work things out. Since the day that I shared my side of the story, we have been talking, and also we came up to some resolutions and conditions that now that I am 6 weeks pregnant, I am going back to the Philippines on my second trimester. I know it's not a good idea for me to go back to the Philippines because something might happen, but for me it's really important for me to go back. It's because this is also one of our problems, one of the root of our problems, that me longing to my home country and him thinking that I don't like to be in here. So we're just resolving little by little. I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission, and this needs to be discussed. So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works. Honestly, I'm not the typical Filipina that's sending money to support my family back home, and I cannot send any money because I don't have it, first of all. And also, my family have a business in Manila. We have businesses there. Our parents send us to a nice school growing up, so basically we have the money growing up. And I honestly have to say this, that I have eaten really great restaurants back home than here because it's really expensive here. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you everybody.
So like I mentioned, on top of everything else, that's the money situation. So when you watch this, do you feel like this woman is satisfied in her marriage, or do you feel like this woman feels like she has hit the jackpot? I do not think so, because I actually want to do another video where I show more of her videos, because for some reason these two people both go online and discuss their issues, yet they stay in the same house where they could discuss their issues. So now that they've put the issues out there, let's discuss them, because I'm going to do another video where I dissect the lady's part, right? You know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about her point of view. Like, what is she thinking? Where is she coming from? Because we're listening to the guy, and this is what he's thinking. Thank God he's putting all his business online, because now we get to know where his mind is at. This is what he's thinking. But I do not think that this lady is fine where she is. I genuinely don't think this is the way to go about certain things. Definitely, I believe they could have done it better, but this is the world that we live in. We're on social media. People are putting their business on social media, so we will discuss things on social media. At the end of the day, if you're a man watching this, I pray that you don't wake up one day and decide to take advantage of a young girl from a third world country out there. I pray that you exercise caution in everything that you do, right? And if you're a young girl watching this and you're out there, and a man like this, a passport bro, a white one at that, approaches you, and you know there are promises of what he's going to do for you. He actually promised her that he will be sending her back home every in a year 3 times, but he didn't get to do that, and that's why she was so homesick and decided to, you know what, to kind of tap out in her marriage. If you're a girl out there, please take everything with a grain of salt. You don't just believe what a certain gentleman is telling you about their dreams to change your life. Like, no, like, exercise common sense, you know, and exercise knowing who you are and knowing that whatever the situation is, you'll get out of it. I feel like I'm over talk, guys. I'm about to tap out. I'm heading to a shoot, but thank you so much for watching this to the end. I'm going to do a part 2 for the other lady. I told you this year, foot on next. Please follow me on social media at Janita Maaya, and do subscribe, guys. I'm trying to get 10K. That's the goal. So please do subscribe for more of this. You can also send me an email at joannamaya@gmail.com for stories, or if you want a consultation, if you want an ebook, if you want to buy merch, details in the description box. You know, support your girl, support the channel. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. But yeah, let me know what you think about this episode, and I hope to do more of this. See you next time. Bye.